Your soul is going to jump because this is the scariest Japanese horror movie of this year. This film gave me legit chills. Remember Sayuri and Sanna? Those movies were wild, but today's film, Dollhouse, crosses every limit of fear. Some scenes were so well made, my jaw literally dropped. The movie feels like a mix of Annabelle and The Ring. And get this, it's directed by Yaguchi Shinobu. And even though it's his first horror film, I think he absolutely did an amazing job. This is the story of Yoshie, a mother whose daughter dies and she brings home a doll which hides an evil secret. So watch the video till end. Demonic Archives bring you the best horror recaps. Hit that subscribe button right now, like this video and share it. And follow me on Instagram where I try to reply personally. Because now, we're about to dive into the terrifying, demonic tale of Dollhouse. The story begins on one of the most heartbreaking days. We meet Yoshie, a wonderful mother who loved her daughter Mei very deeply. Mei was happily playing hide and seek at home with her friends. Soon the snacks ran out. Yoshie went to the supermarket to get more. She even baby-proofed the house before leaving, meaning she wasn't a careless mother at all. But you know what they say, when something's meant to happen, you cannot stop it. Now when Yoshie comes home, Mei's friends have already left and Mei is nowhere to be found. Yoshie immediately runs to all their neighbors, but no one knows where her daughter went. The kids all say they didn't see Mei after the game ended. We cut to Tadahiko, Yoshie's husband, who works at a hospital. He hears his daughter is missing and races home. The police take the report and leave, but Mei still isn't found. Both parents fall into deep depression that night until Yoshie goes to put dirty clothes in a washing machine and her blood runs cold. Mei had been hiding inside that washing machine during hide and seek and she suffocated. She died. As Yoshie screams, all the neighbors rush out. This scene alone was so evil and well made, and it was so disturbing that it gave me real chills. The story jumps a year ahead. Yoshie is still deeply depressed and blames herself for Mei's death. You see, their washing machine was old and she kept delaying replacing it out of laziness, so she believes Mei died cause of her. The depression is so heavy that Yoshie cries constantly. The house is a mess. She doesn't function properly and everyone is worried about her. During this time, we meet Toshiko, Tadahiko's mother, who's been helping around the house. One day, Toshiko tells Yoshie about a temple where they perform a ritual by burning old possessions. She thinks burning Mei's belongings might help Yoshie move on. Yoshie agrees, but the next day, while she's on the balcony, the ritual pamphlet gets blown out of her hand by the wind and leads her far into a market where people were selling household items. And you see, this wasn't a coincidence. It was the work of an evil spirit. Let me explain. Spirits are always around us. Right now you're watching this video, there are multiple forces around you. But if a malicious one notices someone mentally vulnerable, it will try to take advantage. In this movie, the evil force senses Yoshie's depression and the spirit lures her to that market. Basically, everything happens for a reason. Now the paper stops in front of a shop where she notices a strangely sealed box. Something's inside it. Whatever was inside almost hypnotizes her and she ends up buying it. That night when Tadahiko comes home, he sees his wife smiling for the first time in a long while, but soon he notices a doll sitting on the dining table and he was shocked. Still, he doesn't say anything. He was just relieved to see his wife happy again. However, over the next few days, things change. Yoshie starts treating the doll like Mei. She cleans up Mei's room. She cuts the doll's hair. The doll even had nails weirdly and she trims those as well. It's like her daughter came back to life, but Tadahiko is terrified. That's why he takes the doll to a therapist. According to the therapist, there's nothing to worry about. The doll is helping Yoshie move on, like how some people use emotional support animals. She says that eventually Yoshie will heal and naturally let go of the doll. After that, Tadahiko starts supporting Yoshi as well. Both of them begin treating the doll like their daughter. Their lives slowly fill with happiness again, and their house becomes covered with pictures of that doll. They even buy a brand new washing machine, and this means Yoshi is successfully healing. Then after some time, they got a good news. Yoshi is pregnant again. 9 months later, another little angel arrives and they name her Mai. With baby Mai's arrival, Yoshi finally heals. She completely forgets about the doll. Their home fills up with Mai's picture and the doll gets shoved among the toys. No one pays attention to it anymore. Sometimes Yoshi uses the doll to help calm the baby, but then one day, Yoshie and Toshiko are talking in the kitchen when Mai suddenly starts screaming. They check the baby monitor and see the doll was almost on top of her. They both rush to the room and Mai's neck is scratched like the doll intentionally did it with its hair. Toshiko angrily throws the doll away, which was a little funny, and then later that night, Tadahiko sees the doll's box for the first time. It was covered in strange symbols he couldn't understand. After what happened today, the couple locks the doll inside that box and stuffs it in the back of a closet, completely forgotten. Now just like that, 5 years pass by. Mai is now in school. Everything is normal until one day, Mai's marble rolls into the closet. She hears creepy sounds coming from inside and ends up pulling out the doll again. Yoshie is shocked. After so many years, no one even remembers the old incidents. Mai keeps the doll with her and says her name is Aya. But something about Aya feels off. That evening, Yoshi and Tadahiko talk about the doll. Yoshi had cut its hair 5 years ago, but now the hair is long again. The nails have also grown back. Tadahiko brushes it off, saying old dolls are naturally creepy and they shouldn't overthink it. Then the next day, the doll's hairs even get sucked into the vacuum cleaner. Meanwhile, Mai starts talking to Aya constantly. That night, Mai crawls into Yoshi's bed because she was scared of Aya in the dark. The next day, Yoshie friends Akiko comes over with her daughter Hiyori. The kids play with Aya while the moms talk in the kitchen. Then suddenly the milk Yoshie bought, fresh from the store, goes bad instantly. Then they hear Hiyori screaming. Someone bit her hand. Both mothers assume Mai did it, but Mai starts crying as well, and she insists that Aya was the one who bit her. Yoshi obviously gets mad at her daughter because she's lying. Then that evening, Mai is throwing a tantrum in her room. Yoshi walks in and sees Mai sitting on a chair with a paper bag over her head. However, something feels wrong. Mai had destroyed all the photos of her older sister, which makes Yoshi furious. She pulls the paper bag off, but it was not Mai. It's the doll. Yoshi freezes in shock, and moments later, Mai runs in, snatches the doll, and runs away. The next day at school, Mai's teacher shows Yoshi 2 drawings. One shows a mother and daughter hanging from a noose. The other shows a girl burning alive. That's when Yoshi finally starts thinking something demonic is going on. That night, Mai climbs into bed with her kid, but this time something feels strange. When Yoshi properly looks, she realizes it's the demonic doll lying beside her. She obviously screams and Tadahiko wakes up, but the next morning, he's in a rush and barely listens to her. Yoshi now knows she has to do something, so she throws the doll into the trash. She comes back home and starts making lunch, but then suddenly the front door opens. Soon Yoshi finds the doll sitting by the gate with a paper bag on its head. Furious, Yoshi grabs a rolling pin and beats the doll brutally. She even smashes her head, but when she turns around, the doll is sitting on the bed. And then she sees it. Her daughter's head was crushed completely. Yoshi screams in horror and breaks down crying, but thankfully she wakes up. It was just a nightmare, but genuinely this scene was so well paced with such good directing and music that my jaw was left open. Anyway, that was just a nightmare, but the doll still finds its way back home. this time with a note. Since Yoshie threw it away without a tag, the building manager returned it, saying oversized items need proper disposal. That's why Yoshie personally hands the doll to the garbage truck worker and it finally gets taken away. But barely 5 minutes later, siren starts blaring, an ambulance shows up. Yoshie runs out to see what happened and the garbage worker has been crushed to death inside his own truck, and Yoshie is now left horrified. Right then, Mai arrives from the school and picks up her doll again. She was upset that her mother tried to throw Aya away. Then that night, Yoshie finally shows her husband the baby monitor, in which Mai is clearly talking to the doll. Yoshie insists that this doll is haunted, but Tadahiko was exhausted and stressed from work, and he thinks that she's losing her mind. But from the way Mai and Aya were talking, it was clear that Aya maybe doesn't want to go home, and you must remember this. It's an important detail for the ending. Now the next day, another evil haunting happens. Mai insists on playing hide and seek with her mother. She goes to hide, and I call this scene sometimes doll, sometimes girl. Yoshie steps out of the kitchen to look for her, but the kitchen door slams shut on its own. Inside, she clearly sees Mai standing there. Yoshie walks toward the kitchen, but the doll slips away behind her into the bedroom. Yoshie now follows the doll and sees Mai under the blanket. Mai crawls out and goes under the bed, but when Yoshie looks, no one is there. Then suddenly the doll jumps from the bed on Yoshie and runs out of the room. Yoshie yells after her because she was believing that it was Mai. However, suddenly an evil figure covered in a bedsheet darts out as well. That's when Yoshie realizes there were two girls in her house. Yoshie panics and runs to find her daughter. She soon finds Mai inside the washing machine, but suddenly Mai transforms into an evil spirit and attacks her. Yoshie throws the spirit away, but that's when it switches back to Mai. In the end, Mai ends up with a head injury. The whole scene was chaotic but incredibly well directed. At the hospital, Tadahiko arrives and the doctors are concerned about Yoshie's mental health because Mai's body has scratches on it. The doctors suspect Yoshie did all that, and Tadahiko also thinks his wife's mental state is getting worse again because Yoshie's arms have scratches as well. That's why the doctors admit her for a few days in the hospital. Tadahiko drops Mai off at her grandmother's house and reassures Yoshie that things will be okay, but Yoshie was scared. She didn't want the doll to be left alone with the daughter. She begs Tadahiko to take the doll to the temple for the ritual Toshiko mentioned earlier in the movie, the one in which they burn old items. Burning the doll might fix everything. Then at home, Tadahiko contacts the temple. They ask for a picture of the doll. Then when he takes some photos of that box, he notices some writing on it. There was a name, Yasumoto Koichi, the doll maker who created this doll for his daughter Rei. Tadahiko now searches the name online. He learns that the doll maker made living dolls and worked in a village called Senchi. In the middle of this search, he gets a call from the temple. The temple people straight up tell him the doll is cursed and they will come pick it up tomorrow. This was kinda concerning for Tadahiko, and that's why he starts researching about living dolls. He soon finds a YouTube video of 5 people who went searching for a living doll on an island. Their story was also connected to Yasumoto Koichi. You see, Senchi village was on an island, and according to the story, Yasumoto's daughter Rei disappeared one day. Then when the police couldn't find her, Yasumoto's wife Taeko became convinced that Rei was inside a doll. She started treating the doll like her daughter. Then after Taeko died, the doll was buried with her. However, the legend says that one day the doll crawled out of the grave and now wanders the island searching for Rei, the doll's actual owner. That was the tale of the living doll, but how much of it is true or false is something impossible to guess. Still, Tadahiko doesn't buy this ridiculous story yet. Now the scene goes to Toshiko, who who had put Mai to sleep with the doll. Soon, paranormal things start happening. The doll crawls onto her back. At first, she thinks it's Mai, but when she goes to tuck Mai in again, the child is already sleeping in bed. Realizing the doll is on her back, Toshiko panics and calls Tadahiko instantly. She locks the doll in the closet and tells Tadahiko clearly, "This thing is cursed. Take it out of my house immediately." Now even Tadahiko starts feeling suspicious. Everyone keeps calling it cursed, so maybe something really is wrong. Then he remembers the doll's name is Aya, but the doll maker's daughter's name was Rei. He looks it up and discovers something chilling. You see, Aya and Rei are actually the same name in Japanese, but their pronunciation is kinda different. That's why his blood runs cold. He now rushes to get the doll, and meanwhile, Toshiko discovers that the doll is gone from the closet. Not just the doll, but Mai disappeared as well. The grandma runs out to search for her, and after a while she finds Mai sitting on a bridge, which completely terrifies her. Meanwhile, Tadahiko comes to grandmother's home and finds Mai in the yard. She was with the doll and grandma was missing, but soon the police bring her home as she was injured. Then a detective shows Tadahiko the CCTV footage. It reveals what happened. You see, when grandmother found Mai on the bridge, she saved her at the last moment. But then another girl, which was clearly the doll, ran at her and attacked. The doll bit her brutally, which is why she was injured. Then Tadahiko stays with his mother, but notices something odd. You see, the bite marks were on her hand as well as on the strap of her watch. The doll had bitten through the watch as well. Now Tadahiko couldn't believe that a doll can run on its own and bit her mother like that. That's why he was suspecting that Mai did it all. He now goes to check Mai's teeth, but her teeth don't match the marks on the watch strap, and then suddenly Mai wakes up and screams in a demonic way. The next day, a priest from the temple arrives and takes the doll with him. The ritual is performed the following day. The priest wraps the doll in a white cloth and burns it along with other old items. Tadahiko records the whole thing and shows the video to Yoshie, whose mental condition has finally stabilized in the hospital and she will be discharged soon. Then the scene shifts to the priest and we find out that he betrayed Tadahiko. He knew the doll was an antique, so the doll he burned wasn't the real one. He kept the real doll to sell it, but no one was willing to buy it. He takes the doll from one buyer to another, but midway when he was on a station, suddenly he starts coughing. Hair began coming out of his mouth and he falls onto the escalator along with the doll. The doll's box breaks open, meaning the demonic force is now free. The priest is taken to the hospital where Tadahiko works and he was shocked to see the man's condition. Soon a temple employee arrives behind him holding the doll, and that's when Tadahiko learns about the temple's deception. The employee apologizes and returns the doll. Instantly Tadahiko calls the temple manager for a complaint, and the manager apologizes and promises to help. Cause you see, this particular doll is extremely cursed according to the temple people. That's when a nurse picks up the doll and a tooth falls out of it. Tadahiko realizes he needs to find out what's inside. That's why he takes the doll for an MRI scan and everyone was stunned. You see, inside the doll is a skeleton of a child. Yoshie sees this as well, since she has just been discharged. The couple calls the police and Detective Takeshi arrives at the scene. He takes the doll to identify whose remains are inside. However, it was really clear. The doll maker's daughter never went missing. He turned his daughter into a doll, but the reason why will shock your mind. Now, as Detective Takeshi is leaving with the doll, he runs into a priest named Kanda, who was sent by the temple manager. Kanda asks for the doll, but Takeshi refuses. It's now part of a criminal investigation. Takeshi drives off to take the doll for DNA testing, while Kanda, along with Yoshi and Tadahiko, follows him to make sure nothing demonic happens on the way. Now, in the car, Takeshi looks at a photo of the doll that Kanda just took when he was leaving, and in the picture, the demon's real face is visible. He panics and throws the photo outside, and then suddenly, A girl appears in front of the car and gets hit. Takeshi slams the brake, runs out, and finds the girl wedged between the wheels. Kanda, Tadahiko, and Yoshie run up and find Takeshi crying with a doll. Kanda quickly takes the doll and traps it inside a really protective box, but Takeshi is now traumatized and he goes home. Meanwhile, Kanda, together with Yoshi and Tadahiko, go to a village to meet a priest named Muneharu, who knows everything about Yasumoto doll maker. You see, he used to be a police officer years ago, and Muneharu is gonna solve most of the mystery here. Muneharu brings him inside his house, where he has stored many of Yasumoto's dolls. After a little chit-chat, Muneharu finally begins telling a story. Years ago, Yasumoto came to the police station long after his daughter Rei had gone missing, and he told Muneharu a horrifying story. From here, the scene goes into the past. We finally meet Yasumoto, his wife Taeko, and their daughter Rei. Rei was born extremely weak and sick. She couldn't go outside, and that's why one day Taeko tried to hang herself and her daughter together. This was the same scene Mai drew earlier, the mother and daughter hanging. But something went wrong. Taeko's rope broke and she survived. However, Rei died. Yasumoto witnessed everything, and to cover up his wife's crime, he boiled his daughter's body, which depicts another drawing Mai had drawn earlier. But instead of burning, she was boiled dead. The doll maker then used Rei's bone to craft a doll. Sometime later, Taeko died as well, but her last wish was to be buried with her daughter in a pot on Senchi Island. Yasumoto buried Taeko with the doll right beside a torii gate, but before Yasumoto died, he confessed everything to Muneharu. Muneharu and his police team then dug up the grave so they can figure out if the doll maker was lying or not. But inside the grave, they only found Taeko's body. The doll was gone. Someone had stolen it. You see, back then Yasumoto's dolls were selling for a lot of money, so it was very likely that someone took it and stole it, and the doll was passed around for years. Eventually, it ended up in the market where Yoshie bought it. According to Muneharu, the only way to break the curse is to return the doll to Taeko's remains. Only then will everything end. After hearing this truth, the three of them prepare to return the doll to its mother. But here's the real problem. Taeko was the one who unalived her daughter, so Aya's spirit obviously doesn't want to go back to her mom. And cause Yoshie treated the doll like her own child in the beginning, Aya grew attached to her. That's why the curse kept following the family. You see, Aya wanted Yoshie to be her mother forever. Then that night, the three of them arrive near the island and stay in a hotel. Kanda performs a ritual to locate Kaeko's grave. He communicates with the doll's spirit, and the doll's face become even more terrifying. It was clear that Aya does not want to return. She wants Yoshie as her new mother. Still, the ritual reveals the exact grave location, but suddenly the entire room starts shaking. Objects fall everywhere, paranormal activity begins, and the doll escapes its cage. Yoshie uses her camera flash to track it, but the evil spirit runs around the room in creepy, jerky movements, trying to attack him. Somehow they finally wrap the doll in a cloth, pour holy water on it, and subdue the spirit. But during this struggle, Kanda gets badly injured and he couldn't go to the island anymore. The next morning, Kanda returns to the city, and now it's up to Yoshie and Tadahiko alone. They head to the island, and the cinematography in these scenes genuinely looks like The Ring, eerie and atmospheric. They eventually find the torii gate buried under the ground after all these years. Using a metal detector, they locate the grave, and when they open it, Kaeko is inside. They pray for the spirit to rest and place the doll into the grave, but suddenly, a photo of Yoshie's first daughter Mei falls out of her pocket and into the grave. Yoshie always keeps that photo with her, and that's why she jumps into the grave to grab it. She gets the photo, but the protective charm on the doll burns off, which frees Aya's spirit. The doll starts crackling, and Yoshie panics. She tries to climb out, but Aya emerges from the bag. refusing to let her go. Aya's face is horrifying, demonic, twisted, and really cursed. She grabs Yoshi's leg, but Tadahiko pulls Yoshi out at the last moment. He pushes the grave shut, but the spirit grabs Yoshi by the hair. Yoshi breaks the photo of Mei and uses a broken glass to cut her own hair off, and that finally sets her free, and they think the curse is over. They happily return home, where Mai welcomes him. Everything seems fine, but Mai clings unusually tightly to Yoshie, and Yoshie starts suffocating. That's when Tadahiko sees the real Mai trapped inside the washing machine. He tries breaking the machine open, and meanwhile Yoshi sees Aya's evil reflection in the mirror. The spirit was still clinging to her. Suddenly, the scene flashes back to the island, and we viewers realize the truth. They never left the island yet. Everything happening now is inside their minds. The spirit is trying to convince Yoshi to stay with her forever. However, in this vision, Tadahiko finally breaks the washing machine open and pulls Mai out, but she transforms into Mei, their first daughter. She then grabs Aya's spirit and pulls her away from Yoshie. Mei saves her parents and she takes Aya with her. The next moment, Tadahiko pulls Yoshie out of the grave. In reality, Mei's photo remains inside, and with this chilling score, we see Mei, Tadahiko, and Yoshie as a happy family, a life they never got to live. Then the scene jumps ahead a few days. Yoshie, Tadahiko, and Mai are happy at home again. After breakfast, they head out. Meanwhile, Kanda, grandmother, and the temple manager arrive to meet him cause Yoshie and Tadahiko weren't answering grandmother's calls since the island trip. On the way, grandma shows Kanda the full recording of Aya talking to Mai, the one we saw earlier but incomplete. Aya says she doesn't want to go home cause her mother used to beat her. Aya also says she wants to take Mai's place and make Yoshie her new mother, and she will do anything to make that happen. Then the three reach the apartment, but it was empty. Kanda here realizes the doll won't stay quiet in the grave. Meanwhile, Yoshi and Tadahiko are out with Mai, but their real daughter Mai is in grandmother's car, because obviously, while they were on the island trip, grandmother was taking care of her. And ever since they came back, they stopped contacting everyone because their minds weren't really back. They both were trapped inside the curse of that demonic doll, which had taken Mai's place. The movie ends on this chilling twist, and honestly, I'm sure we're gonna get a part 2 of this movie in the next couple of years. The story is far from over. Finally, that was the recap of Dollhouse, the explosive Japanese horror blockbuster of 2025. The movie doesn't get boring for even a second. The music, cinematography, direction, and acting were all incredible. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Tell me your rating in the comment box. Demonic Archives is approving this movie for your watch list. Watch it, it's really good. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe and share. Follow me on Instagram. I reply to everyone personally there. Join my Telegram for update of this channel, and now I thank you all for watching this video. Stay safe, stay happy, and stay alert, because they always see you